afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Kemp. I'm one of the directors of membership for the campus response team. This is Marsha Chan. She's our director of inventory. So for our first question, we'll be going in the order Spark, Nova, and then Green. So this question is for the VP Internal. What sort of plans do you have for the services manager in the upcoming year?
Thank you, Natalie, for a very good question. The services manager will obviously continue to support the existing services that are part of FEDS and continue to advocate on behalf of services. I would like to increase the collaboration between the VP internal and the services manager. As I said earlier, we don't want the services to be dealing only with the services manager all the time. We also want to be dealing with the VP internal. So in more efficient collaboration between service, VP internal, and services manager. Secondly, I want to ensure that the services manager transitions the International Student and Canadian Network, which is currently run like a club, which is currently run like a service, but it's actually a club. I want him to turn that into a service, so that would be one of the big things that he'll be focusing on. Lastly, there's looking into a service for the creation of a service that advocates for safety and has, as part of its mission, potentially a walk safe program. So these are a few of the tasks that the services manager will be looking into over the next year. Continue to advocate on behalf of services. I would like to increase the collaboration between the VP and the services manager.
So one of the things we really want to do with the services manager is to increase the amount of training that volunteers and services get, because one of the concerns that was expressed by almost all services was that there was sometimes miscommunication with like scheduling or planning events, and we think this is something that can be very easily fixed with better training for volunteers, and that's a resource we're very happy to support. So one of the things we really want to work with the service manager, one of the things we want to work with the service manager for is implementing and creating these training programs to more adequately support the services. One of the other areas that services expressed discontent with was marketing. So a lot of services were taking steps to improve outreach to students, but sometimes there was difficulty getting volunteers, or sometimes there was difficulty maintaining these volunteers. And again, we think that by working more effectively with the services manager and figuring out where some of these gaps lie, we can improve marketing and improve visibility of all the services. By almost all services was that there was sometimes miscommunication with like scheduling or planning events. And we think this is something that can be very...
I will agree with both of my Team Nova and Team Spark candidates. And in addition, we are also considering in training programs to students, and we are also considering helping them in finding a volunteer, a better way to find a volunteer. And through our FEDS app thing, this can be this can be done in a much better way, and through this we can find it in a better way. Like it would be a centralized way of finding volunteers for not only for services, it's for clubs and societies too. Thank you.
So for our next question, we'll be going in the order Greens.
So I had a question for Nova. You guys mentioned that you would like to increase training for volunteers. The question was, would this be for all services volunteers? And if yes, for all services volunteers, what kind of training exactly are you looking at?
So this type of training would be things that are, the training would be offered as needed, but things that we were looking at include, so if a service is marketing an event, we want to look at ways marketing can be improved. We want to look at just basic things like how to host a meeting, how to book out meeting rooms, things like how to work more effectively with people, and as well as leadership skills. Thank you.
So our next question is for the VP Operations and Finance. We'll be going in the order Green, Spark, and then Nova. So the campus response team is looking at some major advancements in the near future, which will require increasing support from FEDS. What new initiatives can we expect from FEDS that will support our progress in becoming a more recognized and valuable presence on campus and operating at a higher standard of care?
Thank you again for this question. It's a very important question. So the campus response team, we cannot underline how important this service is. They're there at all the events and everything just for the safety of the students. So my team and I are aware of some of the issues and concerns that the campus response team is facing right now with space and office, and as well as wanting to advance to get better equipment. So one of the things that we can push for, number one, is regarding to the budget for the campus response team. Basically, we want to support your service because it is an important service for the campus, and by doing that we want to push it in the meetings, by the council meetings and the board of directors. And in addition to that, for the space issue, we want to look into for a short-term goal, we want to look into a storage area around campus that you guys can store your equipment, that the stuff that's not needed like at the same second, you can store it over there just as a short-term plan. And then as soon as the space audit results come out in April, we can use that to work together and figure out a more permanent place that you guys can use as a storage area to store all the equipment for. Thank you.
Great question, guys. I think Ragda hit a great point in terms of space, both office space and storage space. In the interim right now, probably a storage area for you guys would be most applicable. In the long run, once that space audit is completed, there's a lot of different rooms that could work here in the SLC, but it's a matter of finding the right fit. And that's something that we definitely would like to work with you guys, because you provide such a fantastic service to events, clubs, all sorts of different things on campus. So you guys are definitely a valuable resource. Another initiative that we would try to help you guys with is advocating with health services. Dr. Schumacher is somebody that you guys have been working back and forth with in order to get first responder upgrade. So she's a person that we could definitely help you guys negotiate with and work towards that upgrade that you're looking for.
So my team and I are really excited to work with CRT in the advancements that you're looking for in the future. CRT is an amazing service. As an orientation leader, I've never been so happy to not have to worry about first aid when I'm trying to run an event. It's a great service. It's really useful for students, and students do appreciate seeing CRT at student events. So one area that we could really look at helping you with is increasing your presence at off-campus events. Oftentimes, clubs and societies and services do tend to run events off campus, and being able to have CRT at those events and figuring out the logistics about that. Another good area also is looking at the volunteer side of CRT. CRT is an amazing opportunity for students, and we know that in the past you've actually had to turn volunteers away. And with the implementation of the new student safety service, we'd be able to increase your capacity on the CRT side, but also complement your activities and your work with advocating on student safety and things like Walk Safe, and that idea of a foot patrol that keeps students safe on their way home. And we feel that this will really help bridge the gap in student safety and first response and first aid on campus. Your activities and your work with advocating on student safety.
Thank you. Our next question is for the president. We're going to be going in the order Nova, Spark, and then Green.
And we feel that this will really help bridge the gap.
There has been a lot of talk about increasing student safety on campus. What role do you see the campus response team playing in this effort?
Fantastic question. I think you guys are kind of, out of our services, one of the services that's very knowledgeable about what's necessary for good safety, for like you have the knowledge and you have expertise in that area, and I think you guys are ones that can really help us in guiding the direction that we go in as an organization and shaping what other safety initiatives look like. So when we're building out the new safety service, I trust Devin's going to be working with you guys to figure out how the logistics of that will work, because you have experience handling complex people management initiatives and things like that, so you can really augment their transition into that complex problem. And it's using your knowledge to really make sure that what we're doing makes sense and fits in with your experiences.
Great question. So I know a lot of times the students are very passionate in your organization for campus response, and I think just giving them more of an opportunity to use those skills that they've learned on campus. So definitely working with the Student Safety Service and definitely giving more of an active role to you guys and working together in that collaboration to make you guys more active on campus. And I know you guys do go to these events to help out there. So I think just continuing these great things and offering more services to you and working with the Feds exec. So I think that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, for the amazing question. To start off, I am a big fan of CRT. Now, I know you guys do a lot for the students, but I know you guys have been trying to up your certificate to AMFR. And I know you had some backlashes with health services. I do believe in CRT, and I believe that our students could actually get that certification level and should be able to help students more. So I will definitely advocate and try to help you guys with the health services and see how we could actually, stop that kind of lash and get you guys to up the certificate to AMFR. The second thing, being involved in a lot of clubs, I see, okay, so for example, when we were in SAS, when we first started our events, when you check for an event, there's a checkbox that asks, do you want the CRT to be there? And our first event, a movie night, we asked the CRT to be there. We do want safety for our students, but I think we did not really understand at that point what CRT is. So I think we need to work more with clubs to ensure that they understand what CRT is.